Great job, bro. It was a really nice job. And I know why Linda is the favorite, too. And there's a couple other people here that I want to, say something about it. Linda, the way she took care of Dad the last few years is unbelievable, and her time spent with him, taking care of so many different things that I don't want to go into, but just a normal everyday life of what Dad needed, and Linda was there to take care of it. Brother Dave and Lori, why she's the other stepdaughter, or the extra daughter, or whatever you want to call it, is she just all the cooking and the meals that they had for them. Pat would come over, and they had him over there constantly. And Brother Mike, who was over there with Misty and stuff on Saturdays, having dinner. And you guys just, it's unbelievable. You lived close, and you all were over there quite a bit. And I just commend you, the three of you, the four of you, excuse me, on how well you did and what you did for Dad and all of us, because it made it easier. And he often said, and you know it, that Dave knows that, he said, I come down there, you kids are busy and all that. He had no idea how much we would come over and hang out with him and take him places. He was always just, wow. He said, I just didn't think you guys would have time. And we did. We made time, but that's what he always said is, it's not something of, you don't have time, you either make time or you don't. There's always time to do something, you just got to plan it. And that's what he taught us, and that's what we carried out. I'm going to get into just a couple little humorous things that happened with him, and one of them Dave just brought to my attention was the Eloise deal. The reason I bring that up is, the reason he found out about his reunion is he got a letter from this particular person. My mom was, of course, still amongst us. So he gets this letter and stuff, and she starts to open it, and she sees it, so she takes it and tears it all up. That, okay, everything was fine, not really, really mad. She would just write the letter, apparently just to see how Al was doing. Her husband, John, had passed away. And so Dad woke up in the middle of the night one night and he thought, so he goes to the trash can. He's taking this letter out, and he's piecing it by piece while he's down on the ground like this, trying to read the letter. And as he's looking at these pieces on the ground, all of a sudden 2 feet show up. He didn't have to say a word. He threw it away, and they didn't talk for 3 or 4 days. And that was one of the, and he just said, you're not going to believe what happened. I remember a lot of things. Not only did I get to work with him a lot, which was very, I got to be next to him for 17 years within 5 feet of him, and it was just a pure pleasure. Thanks to Uncle Bill getting yelled at by Al when he worked for Al back in the day, that I got Dad's expertise about learning that he, didn't do things right. Yeah, I got him as he was really nice to me. Sorry about that, Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill never took him on that, though. It was just the way it was. A couple of things that were, very humorous is Dave mentioned Candlewood Country Club on the, which was just a wonderful family thing, especially for Chuck, Linda, and Mike. Dave and I, of course, enjoyed it with golf, and I enjoyed it a little bit more than Dave, only because Dave was getting his college started. He was, for 5 years, he was going through school from 75 to 79, I believe, or 80, somewhere in there. And, but I got to play golf with him. But the funniest thing is, one of his bills, at Rose Packing, we had just started a bonus program on how much pounds you sold and this and that. And one day, Dad calls the house and says, how things going? She goes, well, I got good news and bad news. She goes, what is it? He goes, well, what's the good news? Well, your check came from Rose. Well, what's the bad news? Well, the whole thing's going to Candlewood for the first month. It was one of those clubs where you had to spend so much money and stuff, so that was, he just, wow, it just took it all. But it was so new to him that we were enjoying it like crazy, really quick. As a young guy, though, one of the funnier things is when Dad was, when we were growing up around the house on Amelia, every now and then I'd be out doing stuff like that, and all of a sudden I'd look in the front yard and there'd be a lawnmower sitting there. Well, Adam Gray, the next door neighbor, would say, you want to go golfing? He would stop right in the middle of mowing the grass, head to the golf course, and then come back and finish. It was hysterical. About the one last thing that was really one of the funnier deals too is we had our office there in Brea on Brea Boulevard, and one morning John Shields, who was working for Rose Packing at the time, we're up in the up in the office, and we had a pretty strong earthquake. And I got to think that it was somewhere around 1980 or somewhere in there, because I know Kelsey was born in 84, and so it was all in that little time frame from 80 to 86, something like that. Well, John Schuler, this thing kept shaking, so we go downstairs, and now remember, this is 7 o'clock in the morning, there's another car in the parking lot, and here comes Big Al. Al drives in the thing, he looks up, sees us there and stuff, and he gets out, and he's going, he's looking at this car, he goes, he doesn't say that, he doesn't wonder why we're out there at 7 a.m. in the parking lot. He goes, I go, what's going on, Dad? He goes, I got a little shimmy in the car here. Shaking and never once did he ask, what are you guys doing out in the doggone parking lot? And I had to tell him, we just had an earthquake. He goes, what? Because there was a strong one. It made us leave the building. Usually you just kind of hang in there a little bit. Yeah. But those are some of the funny things that happened with Al. And I know that Chuck would like to get up and say a couple words. And I'm going to turn it over to him. And then I'm going to have him for another minute when he's through. And then we're going to open it up. All right.
Thank you all for being here to celebrate my dad's life, and just great to see you all. And I just wanted to share a few memories that I remember of my dad. And well, when I was a little boy, he took me out of school from St. Angeles to go fishing at Anaheim Lake, which is only about 15 minutes from here. I caught my first trout, and I was really proud, and it was great. So my dad took me fishing for my first time, and it was just very special. Then another time, he took me to Fullerton Golf Course, to learn the game of golf. And I was slicing that ball, just constantly to the right. And he said, turn the face of your club, and re-grip it so that you hit the darn thing straight and we can finish this round. So I said, Dad, the way you want me to hold this club, that ball is going to go so far to the left, I'm better with the slice, And he said, just do it. Do it. So I did it, and I'll never forget, that ball going right at the pin. And, I was just jumping up for joy, and, it was just, it was so fun. Put it within about 10 feet, and then I think 3-putted. I didn't get my par, but, it was still, it was great. And then another time I remember so dear was when Mom and Dad took Linda, Mike, and I to San Francisco for our first plane trip. And we went there and just had a great time at Fisherman's Wharf. And Dad, he was up there actually to see some customers. So he said, hey, he woke me up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and he said, hey, Chucky Joe, you want to go fishing? And I'm like, yeah, and so we went out past the Golden Gate and went salmon fishing, and I happened to, catch an 8-pounder that day, and he caught a 6-pounder, and, so I beat him that day. That felt pretty good. Yeah, and then, we just had a lot of, life together. We just had a lot of life, a lot of great memories, and really, give me another. There's only one person to thank for all of that. And his name is Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, who is our creator and our master of the heavens and the earth. And he said in the Bible, God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, nor pain. For the former things have passed away. Then he who sat on the throne said, Behold, I'll make all things new. Jesus also said, I create a new heaven and a new earth. There's going to be a return of Jesus Christ someday. And it's to save those who put their faith in him. And I know some of us, have done that here, in our lives. And my prayer and my hope is that we all in this room today put our faith in Jesus Christ and live eternal in the kingdom of heaven. Please, I plead with you all, don't miss that great reunion in the sky. Thank you. God bless you all. Let's have fun.
There's one thing you need to know about Charlie there. Actually, as the golfers in our family, he's right up there with Big Al in terms of his natural ability and the way he hits a golf ball. And Dave and I were always chasing him for his drives and everything. We could not. This guy was something else. And the other thing that he failed to mention was that when he caught that fish, deep sea fishing, he won the prize of the day for the biggest fish in one of the deals that they had there. And that deal was a bottle of bourbon. Now he's about 12 years old.
Yeah.
And and so Dad's just thinking, this is pretty good. Some guy says, I'll give you $5 for it. Chuck hands it to him. But that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Dad goes home and said, Chuck won a bottle of bourbon to Mom, and she's drank bourbon. She was bourbon and 7 was one of her drinks. She was all, you can't have it. Chuck made $5 on the deal. She just said, well, how could you let that get away from you? Anyway, that was just something else that just happened. I want to open it up to anybody else that any memories. I mean, I will tell you one more thing. When I got the phone call about Dad leaving us, I guess he was through. What did we say, Hanny? What was the word you used?
Oh, he just left.
He just left. So it's about 1:30 when I got the call, right around there, and I looked at Dory, and this is something I went over with Rob and Dan and these guys, because Jerry was always a little bit of, the middle brother was just a little bit tough at times, but everybody loved him, and we all know it. And Bill and Al were, Al the oldest, Bill the youngest, were the sweetest of the guys. And so I just looked at Dory, and I said, I don't know just when he might see Jerry, but I know that he's going to see Bill real quick. She's laying in bed, she looks up, she goes, I know one person she better not see, and that's Romaine, because she's got some explaining. So, and we laughed like a son of a gun on that one. That was really, within 10 or 15 minutes out, it was one of the funniest things I ever heard from her on something like that. Wow. Anybody else, any memories of Al or anything that you want to share, or just even just a couple words? Like Hanson and Richard getting all the free meals you got, stuff like that. Not that I'm pointing to him. Tim Godwin maybe around here. Is he still here? No.